Hi, it's and welcome back to my channel for another video. And today I am going to be sharing 7 pages idea for a chronic illness planner or bullet journal, and I am very excited to share this. This is going to be the part 2 of a video that I have done last year. And for the supplies, I am using my Dingbat notebook. And I have a code for you guys if you are interested in getting one for yourself. This one is from the Earth collection. My code is OA10 if you want to get one for yourself, and I will list on the screen some of the other supplies that I will be using, and everything will be in the description box down below as well, with the timestamps if you are only looking for a specific spread, and also the final flip through at the end of the video if you want to see all of the pages all completed. So right now I am starting with a seizure tracker, which is a yearly tracker form, which is a grid where you have a box for each day of the entire year. And my thought process while making this one was to maybe have either for the numbers of seizures per day and just have a visual representation of when you had seizures, or if you have multiple seizures per day you can have a count. I will also add a medication list in the key, or if you have multiple types of seizures to record which type it was. I have experienced my very first seizure back in December, and I actually have been asked if I could share an idea for a seizure tracker, so I thought I would do it. But really quickly, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Awa, I'm 19, I live with multiple chronic illnesses, and I am also paralyzed from the waist down, so I have some experience with chronic illness, and I want to make these pages to help any of you guys, which I know that a lot of my audience also has chronic illness, to better manage them and just to figure out ways that you can help yourself and make your life easier all around. And I made this particular one also for myself. As I said, I have experienced my very first seizure in December, and I've had a few since. I have non-epileptic seizures due to a neurological disorder that I have, which is FND, and I needed a space that I could have them recorded, so I thought I would also share it in this video. And if you want even more ideas, I also have an entire other video with more pages idea that I did last year, which I will link in the description box down below. And I also have an entire planner dedicated to chronic illness, which is on my shop. I sell digital versions of my bullet journal pages, and I made an entire chronic illness planner last year, and I am currently in the work of making it better and improving it, and this is part of doing this. Most of the pages in this video are the new pages that I'm going to be adding in that planner when I am launching it next month. I don't have a date yet, but if you are subscribed to my channel, I will post it on the community tab, so stay tuned for that.
Stardust.
Moving on to my second page idea, and it is again a yearly tracker, and this one is a bowel movement tracker. I tried to find a name that made it seem less gross than a poop tracker, because essentially this is what it is. It is basically to record your bowel movement. I personally struggle with constipation. I have chronic constipation, and I wanted a space that I could document it. And I know that this is very TMI, but also at the same time I know that it is a really big struggle, and also it is sometimes easier to just have everything in one place to show to doctors and have it documented. So that is why I made this one. And also to explain a little bit more about how I made it, the grid is 31 days tall for each day of the month, and then there's 12 columns for the 12 month of the year, and then at the bottom I blacked out the days that aren't in the month, and below that grid I have a one line of the 12 month, and that is for the monthly average. For this one, I'm not sure how we would use it. It depends on what exactly you want to track. If you want to track how many times you go to the bathroom per day, or per day if you went or not, there's multiple ways to use this one. Or if you want to track whether it was diarrhea or constipation. But yeah, I think it's important to keep track of some things, even though it can seem a little bit gross. The next page is also a page for the entire year. It is a doctor's appointment log. It is basically just a page where you can have all of your doctor's appointment dates for the entire year all on one page. I know that this is a struggle that I personally have for dealing with appointments and keeping track of all of them. And yes, having them on a monthly basis is good, but sometimes, usually when I have to see specialists, the appointments are super far in advance, so it's easier to see them all at once. So this is why I made this one. It is 24 squares wide for almost the entire width of the page, and then 30 squares tall. And each month is 6 by 10 squares, and basically there's a spot for each month of the year, so you can write everything down. And this page is the only page that is already included in the current version of the chronic illness planner on my website, but I didn't include it in my last video, and I thought that it was a pretty important spread to actually share because I think it can help a lot of people, so I thought I would include it in this video. I have a monthly sleep tracker with an energy tracker in it. This is just a kind of random spread compared to the other one, which are very specific. This one is just, I think, very important in general because sleep is very important when it comes to dealing with an illness, because we need a lot of rest, and it's also important to see for certain conditions that if you need a certain amount of sleep, whether or not you're getting it, and also just to help you see what amount of sleep works the best for you. There's like a lot of ways that a sleep tracker can help you with your illness, plus the energy tracker is really good to kind of like see how your energy is doing throughout the month, and also see like patterns and stuff. So I feel like that's just a good addition in general to any planner or bullet journals. And this one is just a pretty simple one. It is the entire width of the page, and then it is 32 squares tall with a 1 square tall header at the top for putting the hours slept, and then the energy tracker is 4 squares wide. So yeah, just a really simple spread. And now we are moving on to the when did I last page. As the title of the page says, it's pretty self-explanatory. It is basically a place to record when you last did something. There's multiple ways to use it. I was personally requested to share one, or like share a way to track for medical device. I think it was mostly asked for like diabetes, or if you have like maybe like feeding tubes and stuff, like when did you last change anything like for medical equipment. So you have 1 square, like the square on the side, which is to put what you want to track. Basically, if you want to track your insulin pump or your Dexcom or your feeding tube, like anything, you just put the name of it. And then next to it there's 2 lines, 2 rows basically of lines to put dates. So every time you do that thing, you can just add it on the line. And if you don't have any medical device that could be added to this page, it's actually a very just useful spread in general to keep track of things. Things like when did you last change your toothbrush, when did you last like deep cleaned your fridge, or like I don't know, changed your bed sheets or anything like that. It's very helpful to just keep track of like things that you don't do every so often, but that still needs to get done, so you can just have it on paper and don't need to actually remember.
Down now. Just remember this. We could have been sorry.
Our second to last spread is a weekly spread, and I just included this one because it is pretty basic in any bullet journal. I didn't make it very specially related to chronic illness. I just think it's a good addition to have. I do have a section for like events and a section for notes on top of the daily sections, but I kept it pretty minimal. The daily sections are 8 by 22 squares for the bottom ones, and then for the top one at the top of the right page, which is for the Sunday, it is 15 by 9 squares. But I thought this was a extremely quick to set up weekly spread that can be done in like 5 minutes and is a great addition to any bullet journal, so that's why I included this one.
Without us, something made us find each other out there, made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do, and I'll be out there.
And also, if you are interested in getting to know me a little bit better, I would highly suggest you go watch also my other socials. I am very active on TikTok, my personal account, and I post a lot more chronic illness related content and just a lot more about all of that. And if you want to see kind of more like daily updates, I post sometimes when I remember on my Instagram story. So if you want to get to know me a little bit more, that's where you can find me.
Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you.
And for this very last spread, I have a daily page, and that's a spread that I don't make very often in my videos. I usually just tend to forget that daily pages are a thing, so I just like don't make them. But I made this one especially for chronic illness. So what I did, I just have like the my day title, and then I have for which day it is, and then I have 2 categories for like lists. And I decided to go with priorities and to-do lists. I know that we have a lot of difficulty with managing energy levels, so I thought that by having priorities and to being able to set priorities for the day, it might be a good way to like keep in mind the things that we actually have to do, and then just like have the other things in a separate categories that aren't necessary to get done. And then underneath all of that, I have a schedule which is from 8 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. But there's space to like make it bigger if you need more hours in the day. But it's basically just to plan out your day hour by hour. Or like if you want to do like a template for your perfect day, you could also add like all of your time for medications or anything like that. And then for the upper side that I left blank, I added a meal planner. Nothing too fancy, just to like plan your meals because it's important to keep a good nutrition. And then underneath it, I have a water tracker because it's important to stay hydrated, and then a pain tracker to like have the daily pain, and then a note section for anything else. But that is basically all of it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe for more. You will have the final flip through for this whole video in just a second. But if you want to know more about my planners and my shop, everything will be in the description box down below. Also check out all of my other socials. Don't forget to leave me any comments with any other suggestions or feedback, or just like other videos idea, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!